This is James Rickman. Please review the charts that I've listed in this video prior to my actual blog commentary, which will follow the charts. And then I also have a written blog as well on my website. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm out at Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to the Narrow. But I'll be hood forever. I'm the new Sinatra. And since I made it here, I can make it anywhere. Yeah, they love me everywhere.
Hi, this is James Rickman, the director at iHumanmobile.com. And today is May 8th, Tuesday, 2012. I wanted to discuss the issues surrounding unemployment in America, particularly among the minority groups such as the Hispanics, or Latinos, and Black African Americans. For all the talk of President Obama's contribution, which was a great thing that finally we elected a black president, African American, who has shown some great leadership abilities. However, when you look at the numbers and what he's actually produced for the black or minority communities, they don't look so good, actually. For example, in 2007, the African American unemployment rate was something in the 8% range. Today it's currently fluctuates between 13 to 16% unemployed among the black community, African Americans. Furthermore, when you look at the number of blacks in jail, for example, as a percentage of the total amount of people in jail, the FBI statistics show it's upwards of 58% of all inmates in prison are African Americans, which is a non-consistent ratio, which should not be occurring. When you look at the women 20 years and older, their unemployment rates under Obama have fluctuated between 10 to 13%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Young adults, the unemployment rate has fluctuated. Young adults between the years of 16 to 19 years old, that has fluctuated between 34 to 40% of our young people. Going into this summer, kids will be unemployed. That's a huge percentage. African American businesses, and back in 2007 ranged startup and small companies in the African American community was about 1.9 million owned by African Americans. Today that number has dropped. In fact, what we're seeing is increase or a decrease in black-owned businesses or African American owned businesses. Out of the federal procurement contracts, there was $500 billion procured by the federal government for earmarked for small businesses and contracts for small businesses last year. However, only $6 billion of that in 2010 and in 2011, that's about 1.2%, actually went to black-owned firms, which is a very small ratio. So the argument that Obama is helping the minorities is simply not an accurate figure. Looking at the actual data and the numbers, it's not accurate. My feeling is that if you look at Massachusetts, for example, where Mitt Romney laid the groundwork as the former governor and generating jobs and the entire structure of it economically, Massachusetts has a very low unemployment rate compared to the rest of the country at 7.2%. So he left that state, or had something to do with developing that state and leaving it in pretty darn good condition. The spending power of the African American community is actually quite large. It's about $850 billion are spent by African Americans per year, and yet only 90% of that goes to non-African American owned businesses. So most of the money that's being spent in the African American community is not going back into their community to help improve the lives and the standards of living. We've also seen a drastic increase in the cost of energy, for example, under Obama. We've seen a huge increase, ranging from $60 a barrel back in 2006, 2007, 2005, and currently today we're seeing crude oil, a barrel of crude oil is upwards of $107 a barrel, $100 a barrel, in that range. It'll probably slow a little bit over the next few months because the economy has become stagnant in a sort of flat growth. There's nothing happening basically as far as growth is concerned in the U.S., and therefore the cost of oil will probably drop a little bit at the pump. Unemployment seems to be hanging stagnant. The U6 numbers indicate, and that the U6 numbers are the numbers that indicate people who are only working part-time and or are unemployed, and they're still looking for work, that type of thing. So it takes into account a number of different factors involved with unemployment. The numbers we're generally seeing are the U3 numbers, which are not accurate measurements of the health of the economy. The real number is somewhere in the range of 14.5 to probably 17% are actually underemployed or unemployed in the United States. That's upwards of probably something in the range of 21 to 22 million people, something in that range, that are looking for work or have given up or are in the process of trying to retrain for a new career. I'll list the numbers in the blog below so you can find those numbers. We've actually seen a drop in the minority-owned businesses by women that seem to be underperforming now during the last 3 years while Obama's been in office. So one of the main functions of this is, of course, two things: the educational opportunities that are affordable to blacks and minorities is been limited, and therefore it's affected their abilities to grow small businesses and startups and create jobs within their communities. And then secondly, of course, the energy prices have hampered people's ability to use excess capital to grow businesses and create jobs as well. And this is also reflected in our food costs and other costs of goods, which are creeping upwards quite rapidly, actually, due to the limited and regulated ability of our companies to tap our tremendous energy resources in America. And so I think under Mitt Romney we could loosen this up a little and really tap into our natural gas, some of our coal reserves, our oil, which is located in states like Ohio, have tremendous oil reserves, Montana and others. Some of the statistics I've noticed among young blacks, for example, that 8 in 10 African Americans in high school, the students, are all interested in starting their own businesses. And therefore we need to create over the next several years, or even the next years ahead in the election, an environment where they can succeed and start their own businesses and create jobs, particularly within the young people's community. We're seeing very high unemployment rates there, upwards of 40% among people that are ages 16 to 19. Some thoughts here. Have a great day. Thank you.